vintage angle. You know, well, this is how you make the shells now. How did you make them back then?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what's the difference of the way you're manufacturing now and the way you manufactured then? So those are good ideas you're having.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of you have the same questions. You could probably write in and you know, give those ideas to George, and I'm sure he'll respond in kind. Another thing George is working on, other than just improving the Not So Modern Drummer magazine, is he's working on a new project, a blue book for drums. And he was showing me one in the store here for guitars. They make them for everything else.
I'm going to grab it.
Yeah, grab that book. And it's going to be very similar to what he's showing you right here. What he's got in his hand. You might want to zoom in on that. Yeah. But tell him about it. He's already discussed this, and it's in the works.
This is, the company is Blue Book Inc. I contacted them. This is kind of funny. I bought the magazine, and one of the first things that happened was I started getting emails about, you know, what's my old drum set worth? I've got this old hunk of junk, or I've got this classic piece here. What is this? And I charge for appraisals. And as I was doing one, a light bulb went off over my head. I said, you know, I wish I had a blue book. Well, to make a long story short, within a week I had a contract with Blue Book Inc. to write the blue book for drums. And this is going to be from as far back as I can take it, whatever I have documented prices and material on, to this year, to 2008. And there are some blue books out there, but they're very, very skimpy. It'll be one line, it'll have a model number, a price, whereas this book has very specific grading systems about what to look for. This would be, you know, the guitar version of what I'm going to do. Also, when they get to the big companies like Gibson or Gretsch, they have extended histories of the companies, and they go into very, very much detail about the rare and collectible models. So I think this ties in very nicely with Not So Modern Drummer magazine. And this is, I used to get 8 hours of sleep a night, and now this will take that 8 hours. So I don't know how I'm going to do all this.
Now this is going to be made available right on the website. Is that it? Just like all the other books?
Yeah, I'd say we're about a year out, you know, from really having this. But the way they work is you can buy a digital subscription, where you just go online and look at it, or you can buy CD-ROM, or you can buy the printed book. You can also buy a one-day subscription. I think it's like $10. And I would imagine that who that appeals to is the person who all of a sudden inherits a drum set, wants to get rid of it, and, you know, finds the blue book. What's this worth? Okay, here's your $10.
That's a great idea. Many times I remember having to call around.
Yeah.
I would, being that I'm a 20s, 30s, 40s collector, I would see a Rogers set, maybe a 60s set of Rogers, good condition, and I'm not a Rogers collector, but I would get them into my possession just to try to filter them into the vintage drum community, and I wouldn't know what to charge, wouldn't know what they were worth, trying to ask people, they couldn't really answer too much. This book, I think, is going to really give us some place to start the haggling process.
And it will create a lot of controversy, too, because I imagine that everybody will have a different opinion about what
especially
they think
if you own the set. There was a guy, you know, that had a '67 set of Black Diamond Rogers, and I discovered him in his storage room, and you know, because they were his, he put such a high value on them. I don't know where that came from, but I had the hardest time getting him to be a little more realistic about it. So that's going to help out a lot.
You asked a question I didn't quite answer earlier about the drums versus the personalities in the magazine.
Yes.
There's two magazines that have come out. I call them sister magazines because they're in the same realm. There's, well, the first one that came out was Vintage Drummer magazine, and was changed to Classic Drummer.
And I must say, when that happened, because when we spoke earlier, I told you I was kind of an advocate of more vintage than custom, but that's just my own preference. And when that magazine came out, I thought, wow, this sounds like it's going to be all vintage, antique drums pretty much. And then it changed for whatever reason.
Well, I think Billy
Billy
Jean's
Jean's son he's talking about is,
he's found his niche.
yes.
You know, and that is focusing in on the famous drummers. You know, they're still living. Great
Yes.
interviews with them, and Not So Modern Drummer magazine did some of that, but it's always been related to the drums.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the classic drums. If you look back at some of the more recent issues, like that Bill did, the Bunny Carlos interview, it was all about his drums. It was basically a tour of his warehouse.
He's done many spots over the years
Yeah.
for the magazine.
Well, he's a staff writer. He's
Yeah, now he is. I
Yeah.
noticed in the last, what,